today. So if everyone please take your seats. Good morning. Oh, that's great. Good morning. I am Ken Tom B. Curtis Jr., and thank you so much for joining us. I have the pleasure of serving as the department's assistant director for the Community Center and Program Division, which includes this very facility. So today, we dedicate this newly renovated facility as the Espy Adaptive Sports Complex. Yeah? Absolutely. We are honoring Ben and Kathy Espy, two lifelong champions for justice, service, and community. So it's fitting that the home of our therapeutic recreation program, a program built on access, inclusion, and dignity, carries the Espy name. This space reflects their vision, a city where every resident can connect, play, and thrive. So now I'd like to introduce Bishop Timothy Clark, who will provide the invocation.
Would you bow your heads in a word of prayer with me? Eternal God, how grateful and how thankful we are for the blessing, the beauty, and the bounty of this day. The splendor of the sunshine reminds us of how bright the lives of Ben and Kathy were. Even as we soak in the sun, we still soak in memories of them, the impact that they had, the difference that they made. We thank you that what was once said is not true of them, that the good men do is often interred with them. How we thank you that the good Ben and Kathy did is not interred with them, but it became seed in the soil of our lives, and it yet brings forth fruit and harvest. Even this facility, which will bear their name and carry their image, reminds us of the resilience of Ben facing physical challenges, the skill of Kathy as a nurse ministering. This is a fitting tribute. How we thank you. We pray for their daughters and sons-in-law and grandchildren, but for all of us who were part of their extended family. May the fragrance of their lives never leave ours, and may we always remember them, maybe with a tinge of sadness, but always with a bright smile, because you allowed them to pass our way. We give you thanks for it, because we have learned you are God on both sides of the grave, and so we rest in you, and we give you praise. And all the people said, amen.
Thank you so much, Bishop Clark there. And at this time, we're going to welcome our mayor, Mayor Andrew Ginther.
Good morning. It is a great morning here in the city of Columbus. If you get a fist bump this morning as opposed to a hug or, a peck on the cheek, know that I'm trying to keep the Ginther family cold in the Ginther family. My freshman in high school decided she'd start off her 9th grade year by bringing her mother and I one of her colds. So we're getting through that, but having a great time. But what a great day here in the city of Columbus, we get to talk about the life and legacy of Ben and Kathy Espy. How grateful we are to God that He brought the son of Sandusky and daughter of Toledo to America's Opportunity City, and the impact they had on so many lives. How fitting is it that here at the Espy Adaptive Sports Complex, think about all that they gave, all the doors that they opened, all the barriers they broke, all of our neighbors who they lifted up, Mitch Brown, all those that are in a better place today because of the contributions in life of these incredible neighbors of ours. Ben was instrumental in establishing the Columbus Youth Corps, the city's annual Martin Luther King Day Jr. celebration. It's fitting the Espy name will grace such a tremendous facility. The Espy Adaptive Sports Complex is much more than a building. It's a promise that we will keep fighting for a city that offers fairness, belonging, and opportunity for all. Columbus is a big sports town, but athletic achievement doesn't just mean what happens on Saturdays at the Shoe. Facilities such as this one play a big role in physical and mental health and social connection, especially for those of us who have struggled more than most for those types of opportunities. Being active and engaged improves well-being, self-esteem, and confidence. And when Columbus residents get what they need to lead a better, more vigorous life, we all benefit. As an example, I want to tell you about Doug Dumas for a minute. Doug, wave your hand, would you? Doug is an athlete who's been competing in adaptive sports since he was a kid. He plays softball, tennis. He's also an artist. Doug's also a Columbus Recreation and Parks employee. Today, he leads creative classes and he coaches youth and adult wheelchair basketball. He says he's motivated by the opportunity to teach kids life lessons through sports. And the enhancements to this building will help Doug and our staff continue to do just that. Our new adjustable reception desk will improve our guests' experience from the moment they enter the door. New mechanical basketball hoops will allow our volunteers to serve our facility users instead of moving equipment around. And renovations in the gym will let us run dual programming so we can expand our capacity to serve the community. This improves programs, accessibility, and independence for everyone who works at and visits the Espy Center. I hope it will further empower everyone who uses this facility to be their best selves. As mayor, you get the privilege of talking about things that matter to the people of Columbus every day. We are here today, and this investment was made today because the people of Columbus chose the future back in 2022. Nearly $1 million of the renovations for this center came from the last bond package. There will be another bond package on the ballot in November. And so I encourage everyone here today to make sure you're registered. And if you need to update your registration and to make a plan to vote. $1.9 billion, issues 5 through 9. A chance for us to invest in ourselves, create jobs, expand services and opportunities throughout our city without raising taxes. Issues 5 through 9. The future of the city has never been brighter because the people of Columbus always, always choose the future. No family knew the Espys better than the Colemans. And it is a great honor for me to bring up a great friend and mentor, the architect of the incredible trajectory we're on as a city and a community. Please welcome former Mayor Michael B. Coleman.
Thank you, Mayor, and it is truly a great honor to be here with you today. When I got a call a couple months ago, I think maybe 2-3 months ago, from Dominique. Dominique, are you here? You helped put this on. You were the spearhead. Where are you? Over there? Yeah. And she told me what's going to happen, and I said, it's beautiful, a dedication of the Adaptive Sports Center in Columbus. And I said, when is it? She said, September 3rd, 2025. I said, no way. September 3rd? She said, yeah. I said, don't you know that is Ben and Kathy's anniversary? Also my anniversary with my wife. We signed up again. I got an extension of the contract. September 3rd, 1967, Ben and Kathy were married in Toledo, Ohio. And I said, how profound and what destiny is that to dedicate this wonderful facility the day they got married many years before. And I remember it so well because the night before, what's that called, the rehearsal dinner? Rehearsal dinner the night before, my parents had the rehearsal dinner at our house. And I remember it so well because, I was, 11 years old. And Eugene and Frankie over here were there. And I remember so well because all of Ben and Kathy's friends and people from Toledo were there, people from all over. But it turned from a dinner, it went from a dinner to a party. And I remember, Espy girls, Kathy and Ben dancing in the middle of our living room. And I was standing there, and Gene was standing there, and they were showing us how to do the jerk. And Kathy said, no, do the monkey. And the music was blasted, and I remember that so well because one of the great memories that I have in life. So, an extraordinary couple. Ben Espy, the Dean of Black Politics in the city of Columbus. And Kathy Espy, everybody's best friend, sister, mother, a visionary, a civic leader in her own right. And to think that this adaptive center was named after those two who started a business called the Americana Gym. I remember that because Amy Espy was the great gymnast before Simone Biles. She was Simone Biles before Simone Biles. And we would go there and watch Amy flip and do all this stuff, and we would just look at her in amazement of her physical capabilities and incredible work. And then another coincidence. Max, who's here today somewhere, I don't know where he is, back there somewhere, who uses this adaptive center, will be using this adaptive center, and he spoke at 10 of my 16 states of the city. And he'll be using this facility, I know, regularly because he loves basketball, wheelchair basketball. So enjoy this. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, President Hardin. Thank you, Councilmember Bankston and all the others that are here from Mitch Brown has so much, Otto Beatty III, and so many of you who made this happen for such a worthy couple, an iconic couple in our city. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mayor. It's certainly an honor to be here with everyone. There are so many elected officials here. If you're an elected official, would you stand to be recognized? I want to shout out my colleagues, Councilmember Beatty and Councilmember Bankston, but I see our school board president, our state representative, our Councilmember Deakar. She just got back from vacation. It's good to see you. Our city attorney is here. Would you help me celebrate all those who have served and are serving the city of Columbus? Councilmember Mitch Brown is here. I told Bishop Clark after the mayor told us that he had a code that, see, Bishop, he likes you more than me. He set me next to him. But to our mayor, thank you so much for allowing us to be here. It truly is an honor to stand here to dedicate this space and honor both Senator Ben Espy and Kathy Espy. Naming a building isn't about bricks and mortar. It's about the values of the people that we revere and the values our community holds dear, like fairness, like dignity, and like opportunity. And that is what makes today's dedication so powerful. See, Senator Espy was a trailblazer in Columbus politics and in Ohio history. As a member of Columbus City Council and later the Ohio Senate, he broke barriers as the first African American to serve in Senate leadership. But titles and first were never what defined the senator. What defined the senator was how he used those platforms to strengthen and uplift his community, to fight for equity, for transparency, and for working families. His achievements are woven into the very fabric of this city. His values and his work have helped move Columbus forward, and they continue to guide us today. But it's also important to acknowledge the senator's personal journey. Later in life, after losing a limb, he came to understand in a very personal way how essential accessibility is. He knew what it meant to face barriers, and he knew how life-changing it could be when those barriers were removed. That experience deepened his commitment to ensuring that our city works for everyone, regardless of their ability. Every child who learns a new sport here, every family who gathers here, every resident who finds joy in recreation without barriers will be living a part of their legacy. And of course, the senator's leadership was never alone. Ms. Kathy Espy was a partner in that legacy of service, whether through her work in teaching, healthcare, or for the city, or right here in our neighborhoods. Kathy was the first African-American member of the Mount Carmel College Board of Nursing, and one of the first Black trustees of Ballet Met. She brought her leadership to organizations like Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and the YWCA, always lifting as she climbed. Kathy was also a staunch supporter of women in politics. She worked to support and encourage women to run and become elected officials here in Ohio. She knew that when women lead, our communities grow stronger. And together, Ben and Kathy showed us what it means to lead with courage and compassion. So by naming this Espy Adaptive Sports Complex, we are saying loud and clear that this is what Columbus stands for. This is who we aspire to be as a community. Yes, fair, just, and inclusive. So on behalf of Columbus City Council, I want to express our gratitude to the Espy family for sharing the Senator and Kathy's gifts with this city. And I especially want to thank the Espy daughters, Beth and Amy and Lynn and Laura. I today mixed up Lynn and Laura. I don't usually do that, I apologize. May this center not just serve as a tribute, but as a reminder of the power of public service and the lasting difference that two committed leaders can make in the life of a city. We are all grateful for them. Congratulations, thank you. And now it's my honor to welcome my colleague, Councilmember Otto Beatty.
Good morning, everyone. I am so honored to join community members in bestowing this honor on the Espy Duffy family in memory of Ben and Kathy Espy. I and my family have had over a 50-year relationship with Ben and Kathy Espy and their family. And they are truly part of the village that raised me, and I consider them family. I have fond memories as a teenager who got his driver's license first and driving over to the house on Brookwood. And I knew not to park in that driveway unless I knew Mr. Espy was home already. And I'd come in, and Mr. Espy, he sat in his chair with his paper, Mrs. Espy around the kitchen island, and I sat there answering their questions, receiving those nuggets of wisdom. You see, that's what, in my day, that's what parents did to their kids' friends. You asked those questions, you invested in them. And I'd come over and over again. And Beth and Amy, they asked me, now are you here to pick us up and take us somewhere, or hang out with us, or hang out with my parents? Well, it was a little bit of both. And little did I know that our lives would be integrated and entwined in so many years. Mr. Espy and my father were leading elected officials in the 80s and the 90s, fighting for so many issues that we benefit from today. And Mrs. Espy, like she's done for so many people, welcomed Joyce Beatty when she moved from Dayton. Mr. Espy was her mentor when she succeeded my father in the state legislature. And Ben and Kathy Espy, there would be no Congresswoman Beatty if it were not for Ben and Kathy Espy. And Mrs. Espy, she was a steady voice and advisor to my wife, Christy Angel, as she led the YWCA. Our families have been there for one another in some of the most important and personal moments. And as a new city councilman, as I walk through City Hall on the second floor and I look up at those pictures of the mayors, sometimes I place Mr. Espy's picture between Mayor Moody and Mayor LaShucka. Sometimes I place his picture between Mayor LaShucka and Mayor Coleman. But as I go through the hallway to enter the city council chambers, and they have 40 pictures of different city councils, and the last picture before we walk in to do the work of our citizens is from 1984, and I see him and I understand his legacy. And then there was Mrs. Espy. You know, if you grew up in Columbus and I became an adult, you know, if you got that call from her, you know you were doing something. And I know if she was still with us and I was in office, I would get those calls. But the important thing was the call would not be for something for herself. The call would be to help somebody else. So with the naming of this building, more of our citizens can learn of their legacy. And I congratulate the family, I congratulate all of us for this honor. And now I would like to introduce his smart and accomplished daughters, Beth Espy and Dr. Amy Espy Smith.
Good morning. On behalf of the Espy family, thank you for joining us on this most beautiful and meaningful day. I am Amy Espy Smith. I stand with my sisters Elizabeth Espy, Laura Espy Bell, and Lynn Espy Williams. To Mayor Ginther, former Mayor Coleman, Council President Hardin, Councilman Beatty, Director Reese, Assistant Director Curtis Jr., Bishop Clark, and Reverend Dr. Mayer, thank you for participating today. Your presence, your leadership, your commitment to this city, and your vision have given our family a gift beyond words. Thank you. The Espy Adaptive Sports Complex, an inclusive community where people with different abilities can come together to play, to compete, and to belong. To see our parents' names, Ben Espy and Kathy Duffy Espy, represented in this magnitude is both humbling and profoundly moving. It is fitting, as you heard earlier, that this dedication is happening today, when on September 3rd, 58 years ago, our parents were united in marriage in Toledo, Ohio. Our parents were trailblazers. Their transformative and collective work over their lifetime has left an imprint on Columbus that will last for generations. They believed in fairness, in service, and in giving back to the community they loved. Our father worked tirelessly to expand equality and justice. He served this city and the state as a city council member, as a state senator, an attorney, but above all, as a public servant. Many of you may remember in 1984, when our father lost his right lower leg due to a traumatic incident in downtown Columbus. Despite this setback, he pushed forward with even greater determination, and his perseverance inspired so many. And this center ensures that his example will continue to motivate people to thrive with disabilities and chase their passions, no matter the obstacles.
Our mother spent her life in education, lifting others up with her wisdom, warmth, and compassion. She was a lifelong champion for diversity, inclusion, and all women. She always made sure voices that were too often overlooked had the chance to be heard. She opened doors for women of color where they had rarely been welcomed, and she did it with empathy, courage, and conviction. Our mother served as a former commissioner for the Columbus Recreation and Parks Department. How serendipitous that we are here today. This complex is not just a building, it's the future. A future where children, families, and athletes of all abilities will find joy, opportunity, and belonging here. It will be a place filled with laughter, teamwork, and resilience. We know our mom and dad would be humbled and honored to see their names connected to such a purpose. Thank you, Columbus Recreation and Parks staff, in particular Dominique Shank and Will Willis with the Franklin Park Civic Association. We are so appreciative of you joining with us and shaping a center that will impact so many, many people. In closing, we would like to ask our family to please stand and be acknowledged. On behalf of our entire family, our mother's siblings, Franklin, Eugene, and Rosemary, all 11 grandchildren, and extended family, we thank you for honoring Ben and Kathy in this remarkable way. May the Espy Adaptive Sports Complex forever stand as a place of love, inclusion, and hope, just as they would have wanted. We are deeply grateful and honored. Thank you so much.
May we stand, if able, for the blessing and the benediction. Let us pray. Gracious and loving God, as we come to bless this facility, the Espy Adaptive Sports Complex, we thank you for this day of celebration and remembrance. We honor the legacy of Ben and Kathy Espy, true champions for community and justice. Their lives remind us that service, compassion, and advocacy makes a difference that echoes through generations. As we dedicate and bless this space, may it stand as a beacon of hope, inclusion, and dignity for all people. Lord, bless the city of Columbus and its leadership, every hand that made this possible, and every person who will find joy, healing, and community within these walls and grounds. May this place inspire us to keep building a world where everyone belongs. Now receive the benediction. And now may the God of justice walk beside you, the spirit of compassion guide you, and the love of Christ empower you to carry forward the work of equity and inclusion. Go forth in peace to honor the past, embrace the present, and shape a future where all God's children are welcomed and celebrated. And may the children of God say, Amen. You may be seated.
Thank you, Reverend Dr. Mayer. Since 1978, this building and the programming here has taken place, has broken down barriers. So residents with disabilities can participate fully in sports, wellness, and recreation. I want to just thank a few people who made this possible on today. The design and construction staff, if you would just raise your hand. Our community relations team, if you raise your hand. And to all the staff in Columbus Recreation and Parks. Our partners, MA Design, Tyveco Construction, and the Franklin County Board of Developmental Disabilities. A huge thank you to Andrea Norris. She is somewhere in this building. I'm not for sure. Here she is. She is the young lady that runs this facility and has worked tirelessly every day to ensure that the programming, the community is involved in programming day to day. Finally, I say thank you to the Espy family. It is an honor to name this facility after your parents, and we say thank you not just from the department, but from the city of Columbus for allowing us to ensure that this legacy continues on in years to come. I know you've traveled here today from near and far, and so we are honored just to say that this complex is a tribute and a promise that will continue of equity, service, and opportunity for all, and say thank you. Now, let's officially rename the building. I'd like to ask the Espy family to join us here to my left, your right, as we will unveil on this side first. If you desire pictures, I'll ask that you come now so that you can get pictures, but you will have a time at the end as well. I'm only going to read the name and probably a little bit of the bio because there's never a bio that can speak highly of the two of these individuals for all the community service that they have done over the years. So to my left, we have Mrs. Catherine, known as Kathy, Duffy Espy, and you can now unveil. I will ask that after this program, you all take time to read, but it just speaks highly of the service that Mrs. Duffy Espy put into not just this community, but not just this state, but on a national level, all the service that has been done. I will ask the family now to join me to my right as we unveil. This is the unveiling of Senator Ben Espy. These plaques serve as a reminder of how Ben and Kathy's legacy touches our community every day. It's so important that we remember the service that people take their personal time out of their daily schedules. They give up family time. They give up memories of what probably some of their children probably endured throughout their lives to serve us as a community. And so we say thank you to the family. Thank you to everyone that has joined us here today. This concludes our program. But as the Espy daughter stated, love, inclusion, and hope can stay forever in our hearts, but it's what we do that makes a difference when we serve. Thank you all so much. I hope that you will partake in the refreshments. Also, there's tours that will go on throughout the building, and we want you all to see what the building consists of, and we hope that you will join us and come back, not just now, but 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. on this evening. There's an open house. There's some competitive wheelchair basketball. So there's a lot of sports going on that will happen today from 4 p.m. to 7. And we say thank you once again to the Espy family for being here and traveling far and near. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all.